Hello folks, my name is Al the Wolf, and I'm usually known as Biogodz here on YouTube. Have you guys ever recorded your own content on VHS? I have, but have you ever recorded YouTube videos onto VHS? Believe it or not, I've actually found a way to do this, and it's really cool. So in today's video on YouTube, we're gonna show you guys what furry YouTube content looks like on VHS. But we're also gonna show you guys the reactions of the YouTubers watching their own content on VHS. We hope you guys enjoy watching this awesome video here on YouTube. Okay, so before we get started, I want to let you all know that the videos that you're about to see right now were actually recorded on VHS. So the stuff you're about to see is basically the real deal. No After Effects bullshit, no apps and filters effects, basically none of that. This is the real deal. We actually recorded furry content directly to VHS. How do we do this? Well, you guys will find out more about this on my channel later on this year. So in the meantime, let's just show you guys what furry content from YouTube looks like on VHS.
What are you doing?
Snowing outside. I want to go play in the snow.
No, you can't go outside.
Okay, first off, I'm like real green, and then that shot at the start of this is really, really bright, and it was when I recorded it even.
Hello.
Oh, this is the Discount Dojo video.
Man, how you going? Come here, man. How you going?
I'm going to the bathroom.
I was just doing the craziest thing, man.
This already has like a really interesting look to it. It's got the it's got a really vintage look. I like it.
Skiing in Furry Paws is surprisingly easy. The VHS effect makes this look so old.
I have a slight confession in there. It's not really a confession.
That's actually pretty cool.
This con,
considering
so
that the original footage was filmed in 4K.
More than any of the other conventions I've done this year. God knows why. It's been so chill. There's been no pressure by anything. No pressure to go see people. No pressure to just go and do things with people. It's all been pre-planned, and everything is just falling nicely into place. Today has been
awesome.
A bit of a yes and no.
Let's go! Hey, Beleda. Beleda Majira.
I'm the menorah.
Okay, so the first thing I'm noticing is the 4:3 aspect ratio.
I'm the real Majora.
I think you're the fake Majira around here.
No.
It's really fun. It's kind of funny to see my intro in VHS format.
I mean, at the moment, it doesn't look any different to when I normally watch videos in this fursuit head. Everything's 480p in a fursuit. Oh, bit jumpy. That's probably just my laptop.
Put her hat on. I don't even have.
Yeah, because it's kind of squished this way because it would be 16 by 9 squished in.
Oh man, that music, it inspired me, man. It made me want to, I'm gonna be a rock star now. Oh man.
And then the cross in the background.
What instrument are you gonna play?
It looks good though, it makes me nostalgic.
Yes and no, purely because of the weather, but I'm having fun.
It's actually like watching a videotape.
I wasn't having a shit, I was having a pee.
Weird. Oh my god!
Hello,
I'm the menorah.
I really don't think that the overlay would be there if this is really VHS. Is that what the splashes look like in regular?
See a bit of the video jitter there. Ah, that brings back memories.
Hey! Dirk has to go to work. I'm gonna go wipe his car off.
No, what are you doing?
I think it's funny, this is also the camera we used to film this, so like, it's like cameraception of what's going on with the VHS here, that's funny.
What song are you gonna play?
Shut up! I'm gonna be a rock star! He doesn't know what song or instrument he's gonna play, but he's got passion, and that's all that matters. My roommate Discount Dojo is gonna make it.
That was a nice little trip out, just to get out of the caravan. And
I need to learn how to do this. This is too cool. This is actually awesome.
Yes. Oh my god.
Hey, I'm here with Twizzler. Oh my god. It kind of looks like the colors are like a little bit less exaggerated, but maybe it's just me.
It's hard to tell what's the effect of the VHS and what's the effect of my video, because my video uses a lot of glitch effects, so it works really well.
Alright folks, it's time to move on to the questions. It's time for the questions! Question number 1.
What do you think is the aspect ratio for this VHS footage?
I think it's 4:3.
The aspect ratio is definitely 4:3.
I would assume 4:3 because they were all for square TVs.
I think I remember seeing a while ago, because I know those like TVs that played VHSs were normally like really small.
It makes me think of like Facebook memes, where they like make the video square and then put text around it and stuff.
I like how you've actually got it in 4:3 as well. So it's the good old boxy kind of footage, and it's all squashed together like it actually would be as well.
That's what they used before they used 16:9, which is what YouTube videos usually are now.
And even into the 2000s a little bit is 4:3. So like most video games are 4:3. So I would also say, like, I guess if we're gonna do like a pixel ratio, maybe 1440 by 1080, maybe. It might also be 480 by 640.
Actually, for the resolution size for VHS is 480p. Because most VHS videos only recorded at 480p back then. However, I will give these YouTubers points for actually getting the aspect ratio correct. Because the aspect ratio is 4:3, and the resolution is 480p. Here's a side-by-side comparison of 1080p and 480p. See the difference? But it goes to show you that technology has improved a lot over the years, so video quality looks much better now than it did back then. Question number 2.
What year do you think they discontinued making VHS?
I'm guessing didn't they discontinue VHS around 2007, 2006? Hello, Luna. Where are you going? Little bonus clip for your video. Who's a good girl? Who's a good girl?
I'm pretty sure it was 95 that DVDs first came in, but VHS was still used for a very long time after that because I was born in 94, and I definitely remember VHSs, so I'm trying to think when we stopped using them. I would say 2006, maybe 2005.
I know Toy Story 2 was on VHS, and that came out, I think, in the 2000s? I'm not sure, but I do remember watching a lot of VHS in the early 2000s. So I'm gonna guess around 2003, maybe 2004, around that time maybe, I think.
It can't have been that long ago. 2010?
Okay, so my grandpa still records on a VHS, like, actual cassette camera, but he has had that thing for years. Like, it has been forever. But my guess is that the Dreamcast came out in 2000. I was playing N64. I want to say maybe 2006 is when VHS, like, stopped. I would have been in like 6th grade then. I want to say we had like moved on to DVDs by that point. So yeah, my guess for when VHS discontinued is 2006.
I'm gonna assume they discontinued it kind of recently, like within the last like 5 or 10 years. But I want to say like 2002 is probably like a safe year to say, because I think that's when, you know, DVDs became more prevalent. But I have a feeling they just kept making VHSs for like way longer than they needed to. So I'm gonna say 2002, but the answer might be more like 2010.
Hollywood Studios discontinued making VHS on October 28th, 2008. So basically, they stopped making VHS in 2008. And the last movie that was released on VHS was A History of Violence. It was released in North America on March 14th, 2006. Question number 3.
What did it feel like to see your own footage on VHS?
I thought it was like kind of interesting. Like, it had that nostalgic feel. Like, it felt like I was watching something really old, even though I know I wasn't, because that con was only a month ago. But it really felt like it was from like, I was watching something from like 2005. You know what I mean? Like you know when you go on YouTube and you find those really old AntlerCon videos with like the really old fursuits, it kind of felt like that. So I feel like if I watch this in a few years, I'll be like, whoa, that's what like cons used to look like. Wow, you know what I mean?
It's interesting because it's got that very like old school vintage look. So it kind of felt like I was reminiscing of something I did like years ago, when in reality I filmed that back in like I think November. So it's almost surreal a little bit, but it's really fun and interesting.
Okay, seeing this on VHS is really, really cool. I'm not sure the whole process of how you got it onto VHS. I'm assuming you used some sort of like video capture and then went backwards. I know how to get things from VHS to digital, but I'm not sure how you went from digital to VHS. So that's really interesting. It's also like everything is squished in because of the aspect ratio problem, and then like my colors, it's just like you got like red, you got green, and you got yellow. And then there's really like no in between. Like it makes my coat like almost a red, and in real life it's orange. And I wonder if that has to do with the VHS, like the way VHS processes coloring. I have no idea though.
I mean, it's pretty neat. It's nostalgic. Like, I definitely do dig the vibe, especially for that video, because it really enhanced the whole glitchy effectiveness. I went for that, so I liked it.
But it is really interesting. I think it looks really, really cool, and it takes you back to the good old like VHS home video days. I love that.
It made me feel like a kid again, because we've got like all of our classic home movies and stuff are all on VHS or like various, tape. I think the camera that we shoot our like our family Christmas stuff is still runs on tape, I think. Unless we just use our phones now. We probably just use our phones now.
It feels like someone actually took my like footage, or I was actually filming with an actual camera, which is really cool.
It was actually really fun recording people's content directly to VHS, but I'm a bit surprised that nobody has ever done this on YouTube yet, and I thought, hey, why not be the first furry to do this, you know? Question number 4.
What was your favorite movie to watch on VHS?
My favorite movie ever on VHS was Monsters, Inc. I actually watched it so much that it started to bleed the colors out. I would get home and just like put it in and I would doodle and draw. But I watched Monsters, Inc. more times than I can even imagine. It was just the thing that I just put the VHS tape in and it would roll. And sometimes we'd leave it like roll, even after I watched it, like I just let it go, and then once it got to the end, it would rewind itself and go again. And that was the movie I watched all the time on VHS, and it's still one of my favorite movies ever, so yeah.
Oh boy, now I'm really reminiscing, because I remember I have this one very distinct memory as a little kid where I spent a whole Saturday afternoon, actually not even a Saturday afternoon, just a whole Saturday watching Toy Story 1 and 2 on VHS back to back. Like I'd finish one and put the other one in, and then when I was done with that one, I put it back in, and I did that all day Saturday. So Probably the Toy Story movies.
I remember back in the day when everyone used to have VHSs. I used to have a VHS of The Lion King, and that was probably my favourite videotape to watch. Or just like regular old family movies, you know?
I'm gonna say The Rescuers.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
The Rescuers.
Yeah.
My favorite movie to watch on VHS was Monster House, because that's the only movie I can remember owning on VHS. I currently own The Lion King on VHS, but that's for collector's reasons. I didn't actually own it when I was a kid.
Oh man, I had so many. Like, most of my favorite VHSs to watch were ones where we just like taped an entire day's worth of shows. As for like actual, made VHSs, probably like Rugrats. I watched Rugrats to death, and more often than not, they would actually die. I would have watched them so many times they'd just be too grainy to continue watching, but obviously little child me didn't really care.
My favorite movie on VHS is probably the Indiana Jones movies. The reason why I love those movies is because they were awesome, they were action-packed, they were suspenseful. I know furries are looking at me like, wait a minute, isn't The Lion King or Robin Hood one of your favorite movies as a kid because it made you into a furry? To be honest, I wasn't really crazy about Lion King or Robin Hood when I was a kid. Remember, everyone was different as a kid. Question number 5.
What's your opinion on people using the VHS effect in their videos on YouTube?
I love it. I use it all the time, but I use Premiere and do a bunch of color shifting and stuff with the different channels and whatnot. So I don't actually take anything from digital, put it on VHS and put it back. But I love it. I love the aesthetic of it. It reminds me of, like I said, old videos that my grandpa would make or film us during family time and family events and stuff. And I think that's really, really interesting. I think it has a very homemade sort of found footage style to it, and it's very, very cool. I think it's very interesting.
I mean, while it's cool, I don't think I'd be able to watch it for a really long time. For the odd emphasis or cool little trick, sure, but I wouldn't be able to watch it if that was all the channel did.
I think people using VHS in their own movies for YouTube projects, which is something that I actually want to do for my vlogs. It's a transition process, just to add music over it. I think that's a really good idea. But something as an entire project, maybe.
It makes it look old. So if you're trying to make footage look, older than it is, then it'll do that. You just got to put the little quote or parentheses at the top that say hi-fi.
Oh, yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think it's cool, if you want to add a nostalgia feel to your video, that is definitely a really good way to do it, is just add a VHS effect, and it just makes it feel more nostalgic, because VHS is a nostalgic thing. I don't know. I don't really know. It depends on the style you want. If you want to have that style and only that style, you want it to be VHS, nothing else, that's a good way to go about it, is to just film it on VHS. But if you just want it for fun, you want to test something, or you want, if you can't go back if you just film it on a VHS. If you film it on digital HD and then add a filter, you can always get rid of the filter for other projects. But if you do it on VHS, it's on VHS forever. You can't get rid of that effect.
Alright folks, that's about it. It was really fun working on this project, but I got some very exciting news for all of you. So this year in 2019, I'm officially going back to Biggest Little FurCon, or BLFC for short. But this time, I'm gonna record the furry convention on VHS camcorder. That's right, you heard me, a VHS camcorder. So this is another exciting project that I'm working on for the channel this month. And if you guys want to help me out on this project, you can by supporting me on patreon.com today. The links are in the description below. Alright folks, have a wonderful day. And remember, see you all at BLFC this year.